Well, hello and welcome to Barking Bird. It is St. Patrick's Day. It is the first day of March Madness, which is this is my favorite weekend of the year, and also it is the last day of my 59th year. My 60th birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to celebrate it at Value Bins and then with a bunch of basketball, which will be culminated by my Arizona Wildcats advancing to the second round of the tournament. I hope. Better. Heck, who knows? Anyway, just wanted to cover a couple of things. There's been a big deal made about postage rates that are going up. I'm not so certain it's such a big deal. If you haven't followed that, starting the 3rd of April, anything that has a side over 22 inches long, between 22 and 29 inches, will have a $4 surcharge on it. Anything 30 inches or more will have a $15 surcharge, and anything that is 2 cubic feet or more will have a $15 surcharge. That, of course, is going to affect the way I send golf clubs. They're all over 30 inches long, so a $15 surcharge is quite a big deal for that. But here's the thing. Because of that, I've ordered 36 and 48 inch 4x4 boxes, and all my golf clubs will fit in those. It'll actually make my job easier. Because what I do now is I take the triangular tubular boxes and telescope those. It takes a little extra time. So now I'll just be using one box to send golf clubs in, as opposed to having to put two together. The other thing that will do for me is it'll mean I've got to take that to UPS. The UPS rates are typically a bit lower anyway. So, so now instead of stopping just at USPS, I'll be stopping at UPS also, and it's just not a big deal. One of the reasons I haven't done this in the past is the USPS boxes have been less expensive because they're free. So even though the postage has been more, the overall cost has been 20-30 cents less. So my cost now will go up about 20-30 cents on these, and again, it's just not a big deal. The one I'm trying to figure out a little bit better is tennis rackets. I do ship a fair number of those. Those will all be over 22 inches also. I may just continue doing that and applying the $4 service charge to that, go calculated shipping. If I can find the right boxes, I will probably switch all that over to UPS also, which is probably the best way to go anyhow. But anyway, again, I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't ship a lot that's 2 cubic feet or more anyway, and that I do, it's typically golf bags, and those go UPS already. So again, I just don't think it's a big deal. It's just a little different planning that's got to be taken care of. The main thing that's going on today, though, I mean, I haven't been to yard sales the last 3 weekends. I was in Las Vegas 2 of those. I was, this last weekend, went to an anime convention with my daughter, anime cosplay convention with my daughter, so that's 3 Saturdays in a row. I have not been out yard selling. Hadn't gotten over to Value Bins either. Again, in Las Vegas, 2 of those Fridays. Then on the 3rd one, my boss had set up an appointment for me on that Friday morning. I normally have a little more control over my time than that, but he set it up, so I went and ran it. So here we go. I'm going to be off to yard sales again this week. Things are going to be good there, I'm sure. I've seen a couple of community yard sales out there already. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today, because I don't have any yard sale stuff to show you, and I think this is kind of important. A wise man once told me that Sony sells, and I've found that to be very true. So what I throw along in that with a little bit of, I don't know, not rhyme, but same sort of ideas. Panic pays. I've seen it repeatedly over the last year. When people panic about something, whether it's a real issue or not, there's opportunity there. A couple of examples. A year ago, I was chasing Chlorine tablets, 3-inch chlorine tablets, because somebody wrote in a news article that there was a shortage. I made $6,000 in a week. I made about $8,000 overall, and that's profit. That's not sales. I mean, it was just real quick, good, easy money. The funny part, there was never any shortage. I could have gone into, I could have picked up all the chlorine tablets that I wanted to at any time, but there was only a specific one that was selling. It was the HTH tablets. Those were in short supply. I don't know if they were in short supply because of the fire that happened in Louisiana that was reported, or because folks like me were just buying them up. I spent one whole Saturday driving all around northeast Florida. I grabbed probably every bucket of those there was to be had, and within a few days they were sold and gone, and the money was in my pocket pretty quick. But again, there was no real shortage. If you needed chlorine tablets, you could get chlorine tablets. There were some of the off-brands, some of the small local shops. I mean, they had this stuff stacked up 5-6 feet high and 15 feet across. There was, I didn't even know anybody would need that much of it. But again, panic. It was reported that this was short. People started looking for it and not finding it. They went to Amazon and paid excessively for it. Another good one, ivermectin. I made a good chunk of money I guess it was last fall on ivermectin. There was a lot of talk about ivermectin being a good defense against COVID if you got COVID. Ivermectin is a horse dewormer. I'm assuming that everybody that bought that from me had horses that had worms. But I don't know. I don't know what folks are using it for. It's not my place to ask them what they're using it for. If I see a market, I'm going to take advantage of it. Again, I was buying that up and selling it for exorbitant prices because of panic. We've got some panic in the world right now. Folks are panicked about the price of gas. Folks are panicked about the war in the Ukraine. The big one that's affecting, well, they're both affecting us, I guess. The war in Ukraine is supposedly affecting our gas supplies here. By the way, from what I've been able to learn, Russia supplies 3% of our oil. So that's not such a big deal. I guess it affects everybody else's supplies. So they're getting it from other NATO countries. So that's going to affect us. People are panicked about the price of gas. Just to work out some of the numbers for you there, if you've got a car that gets 30 miles per gallon and you're driving 20,000 miles per year, that's going to cost you about an extra, the current prices, they're going to cost you about an extra $1,000 a year, about an extra $86 a month, which of course is more money than any of us wants to throw on the ground and let blow away. But I don't know that it's worth panicking over. Now if you drive more, get less mileage, well, that's different. If you're getting less mileage, maybe you need to get a car that gets better mileage. But I don't know where the opportunity is going to come out of that. I know there's going to be opportunity. I'm looking around for it right now. I mean, are people going to be less likely to drive to the grocery store? So now they're going to order things online. That could be some place that comes out of. But what products would we be looking for? I don't know. There are going to be shortages. I think there will be shortages of products because, again, well, people are going to stock up on stuff when they do go to the grocery store. Things are not going to get delivered as efficiently because, again, the panic. Living life in fear is a terrible thing. Fear is an acronym. Did you know that? False evidence appearing real. Every time that initiates in our society and our lives, well, we end up with some sort of loss. Again, the situation we've got now, and most of the panic situations are press created, and my opinion, do with that as you please, but the real thing for me is, where can I take advantage of that? If anybody has any ideas on what shortages that's going to create, where we can where we can take advantage of that, let me and everybody else on the channel know. We'd all appreciate it. Again, I don't know what it's going to be. I do know that panic is out there, and when there's panic, there is profit. And need to figure out where to take advantage of that. Anyhow, I think that's all I've got today, and I'm going to get back to watching some basketball. There's some good basketball. I'm 3-3 so far. I lost the first 3 games in my bracket right out of the gate. That rarely, I don't think that ever happens. I don't think I've ever lost 3 in a row. I won the next 3. The morning session has 8 games, so there should be 2 more. It looks like I'll win both of those right now. Then we'll see what happens in the evening and all day tomorrow. And of course, then we're looking forward to Sunday when my Wildcats play again. And we'll leave you with that. Bear down.